Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Remember what I always say, good morning in some places, good evening in others. But right now we are here, and it's afternoon for Eastern Standard Time, folks. Hello, everybody. I apologize for my tardiness, but I forgot I turned off my desktop, and I thought it would be up by now, but it has to do its updates and all this kind of stuff. So I am on my phone. I will be transferring over to my desktop in a few minutes. But in the meantime, I just want to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the folks in the chat. Let me say hello to some people first. Hello, Kimberly Black. Hello, Shay Jones. Hello, Mimi. Hello, Pretty Brown Eyes 81. Hello, Latrice Robinson. Hello, Tanya Jones. Hello, Red Bunny. Hello, Roland. How are you? Welcome. You're new on this channel. If you're new, thank you. Hit the like button and subscribe, please. Hello, Denitra Purcell. Hello, Lovebug725. Hello, Henny Hen. How are you? Hello, Yvette Girl YTF. Hello, Sheila Turner. Hello, Chantel Monroe. Hello, Fifi. Hello, Kimberly Leanne. How are you? Good afternoon, Miss Lovable Leo. Good afternoon, Lovable Leo. Hello, Miss Latanya B. YTF. Hello, Sartre Speaking Voice 55. Come on in onto the panel. Hold on, let me put my invite here so I can have my co-host on here with me. And hope he's doing well. Let me just put that in there. Hello, Bree Edward. Hello, Miss Fat. Hello, Grace Siobhan Relez. Hello, Grace Johnson. Hello, Sherry Ashley. Hello, you Tiggamies in the house. Hello, Stat Anthony YT. Hello, Michael. Where have you been, Michael? It jumped. It jumped. It jumped. Oh, it jumped. It jumped. It jumped. It jumped. Holman. Hello, Tiffany Transformation Tiffany. Hello, woman of God. I think that's it. I think I got all of you guys. Hello to everyone who I did not mention. Hope you guys are doing well. I am just waiting for the other channel, my computer to come up. Hello, Smooth J. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Sharon Margaret. How are you? How you guys doing? Happy Saturday to you too.
Good morning.
Sound like I'm talking slow. I'm talking slow because I'm waiting for the computer to come up. Hello, Rose Flower. How are you? How you doing? I'm talking very, very slow so I can get. There's a method to my madness. I'm waiting for the computer to get up here because I like being on my desktop instead of the phone because the phone runs out. Hey, Terry.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you? I
Doing
mean,
good.
good afternoon there, but good morning from here.
I understand.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm up. I'm living. It's another day. I'm awesome.
Awesome. That is
Yeah.
great.
What's
That
going
is,
on?
well, I am, as you see my title, I'm going to do a
Hmm.
recapture of Miss Jennifer Bonjean. Bonjean. I can
Bonjour.
say both. I
Hmm.
have to say both because there are people who French would be like,
Yeah.
it's not
Bonjour.
Jean, it's Jean. And there are people who says Jean, which is American, says that, but a
Hmm.
French person will say Jean. So I say both. Bonjour,
Hmm.
bonjour. But she was on BNC. She did an interview, which the interview was extremely awesome. And the reason why I say it's awesome is because what we've been saying, she uttered it out of her mouth as an attorney who knows the law, who's seen what's happening to Robert. And she said that she definitely came in, she took the case on because of she felt that he was wrongfully convicted.
Hmm.
So, and we're going to discuss what she is saying. Hold on a second. I'm going to remove myself from here, and then I'm going to come on the other one. Ta-da! Hold on, let me get my headphones.
Good
Get my
morning,
headphones.
ChatGPT.
Okay, very good. Yeah. I have my headphone on now. There we go.
Okay.
Here we go. That
All
sounds
right.
better.
That
Look,
sounds real good.
I'm all twisted up here. Hold on a second, y'all. I'm twisted up with these cords. Got to get the cords right. Okay, here we go. There we go. We got it now. Hello. We cooking with grease now. The fire
Mm-mm.
is hot.
Mm-mm. Uh-oh.
Hey guys. Hey, hey. Good afternoon, good wonderful people. Here I am. I'm no longer talking slow. Stat starting trouble.
It didn't sound like you were talking slow to me.
But Stat says I
That's
was
it.
being slow. You know Stat's a troublemaker.
That's probably Wi-Fi. Probably got the virus or something.
Statchy, he's talking about you. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and play this. Somebody please put my disclosure up so we could play it from
Disclaimer.
NBC disclosure, disclaimer, whatever, whichever.
Hmm.
Tomato, tomatoes, it's all the same. Um so could some where's my girl at? Black Beauty. Where's she?
Moderators.
She's my she's my girl. She puts up my what's the name? My disclaimer,
Latrice is in
disclosure.
there. Let's see her.
Sir, can I handle this?
Yeah, no, I was just saying. I thought, does Latrice do it too? Does she put it up as well?
I know who my people put it up.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. I didn't see Black Booty in here.
It's
My
not Black
bad.
Booty, it's Black Beauty.
Black Beauty.
Oh my gosh, he just said Black Booty.
Can a
Oh my
person
god. He
stop?
just said Black
Stop.
Booty. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh my god, y'all.
Hey,
There you see where
it's
his brain
Saturday.
is at.
Yeah, exactly. It's ready for tonight.
You see where his brain is at. Kimberly, y'all don't laugh at him. He needs
Yes,
help. He's still
it's
sleeping.
been a
It's still
while.
morning over there.
It's been a while. I'm sorry. It's been a while.
He coming on here with that kind of voice early in this morning. We're not into that right now. We're
I
into the
wasn't into it either. I'm
look
sorry.
at you hear his voice trying to be seductive to people.
There you go. Stop.
Cut it out. Cut it out, dude. We need you to focus.
I am.
Focus. Stop
I
thinking about the
focus.
black booty. It's black beauty.
Okay. I
Lord have
focus.
mercy. Oh my
I
God.
focus
Okay, here we go. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and share this. Do we have the disclosure? Let me go find the disclosure somewhere. Disclaimer, disclosure, tomato, tomato.
now. Hmm.
It's the fair act use. We need the fair act use. Hello.
Hmm. Terry, your birthday
Hey,
pictures are
cool
nice.
one
Hope you
P.
had a great one. Oh, thank you, Samantha. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get Terry to read in his mind instead of reading while I'm talking because Terry
You
will
wasn't
just.
saying nothing then. That's why I
I
said something.
was
I was
talking.
yielding.
I was talking.
You didn't say
He needs to read in his mind, and we're gonna have this fight back and forth because he
it.
don't listen.
Last thing she said was tomato, tomato.
Here we go, y'all. This is a fair act use. This is done for entertainment purposes, learning. critique. I'm trying to say it from the top of my head. Critique, research, and all of the above. This is for the fair act use. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to start it from the beginning, guys.
Are you healed the land too?
Okay, y'all, we're going to get shout out to BNC for the interview. Thank you, Healer Land. Copyright disclaimer. Under the 107, under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, teaching, education, scholarship, and research. Thank you so much, Healer Land. I appreciate you. And audio disclaimer, warning disclaimer, the audio images are depicted are being used for entertainment purposes only. Thank you. I got it. All right, here we go. Listen clearly. Oh, let me make sure. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I take the voice in there too. Hold on. Share. You gotta click the audio. There we go. Mute Terry.
New York-based attorney Jennifer Bonjean has made a name for herself by taking on high-profile yet unpopular clients. She famously represented Bill Cosby on his appeal before the Pennsylvania Supreme Court concerning his 2018 sexual assault conviction, which ultimately got overturned, and Cosby walked out of prison a free man. Now she's taking on a new client, R. Kelly, who was convicted in September of sex trafficking and racketeering charges and currently faces life in prison for those crimes. Joining me now is Kelly's new legal counsel, Jennifer Bonjean herself. Counselor, happy to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Yodi.
Okay, Jennifer, so I'm going to start this conversation by asking you the most obvious question, one I'm sure you get all the time. Why would you defend R. Kelly?
I approach every case the same way. And I look and I say, has there been a miscarriage of justice? And in my mind, a miscarriage of justice occurs when the government oversteps, when they overreach, when they violate someone's constitutional right to a fair trial. And then I ask myself, is there anything I can do about it? Can I possibly get this individual some type of remedy, some type of relief? And when I looked at R. Kelly's case, I found that both of those things were true. And so I had no reservations about taking R. Kelly's case. What I see was a travesty of justice and how the process worked. And when the process doesn't work, the outcomes are not fair, they're not righteous. And as a result, I took R. Kelly's case. And I pass on cases, but this is a case that I felt satisfied both of those requirements.
And that's because you think that the government abused the RICO statute in order to get around issues of statute of limitations, right? And so for people who may think I'm talking legalese here, there were accusations for decades against R. Kelly. Those accusations, cases, whatever it may be, were old, and so they couldn't be tried in a court of law. But to get around that, prosecutors use this statute, the RICO, which most people would associate with like big drug lords, to get around that in order to get R. Kelly on these charges. That's what you're talking about when you're talking about a miscarriage of justice, correct?
I mean, it's more than that. First of all, the government could have charged R. Kelly along many years ago, many times over, with whatever crimes they believe that he committed. Now, they didn't do that many times. We know there was a case back in I think in the mid-aughts out of Cook County, and he was found not guilty of that case. But the government could have brought charges, and they chose not to for whatever reasons. And now they have brought charges against him under RICO, which, yes, was designed to get at criminal enterprises, mafia, large drug operations run by gangs. And they are doing that, yes, to plead around the statute of limitations. But even more problematic in my mind is they use this statute in order to overwhelm the jury with other crimes evidence or other bad act evidence. It doesn't even have to be another crime. So really what they're doing is putting someone's life on trial. And that ends up being not really a fair fight. It's one thing to defend against a specific charge. That is fair. But when you bring in these crimes, these alleged crimes under the RICO Act, you're really putting someone in a position where they have to defend 30 years of their entire life. And that, I think, is not a fair fight, because it doesn't give, you don't have fair notice on what they're coming at you with. There's allegations that date back 30 years. And there are sometimes it's very difficult for particularly high profile people. 30 years. Oh, do I even know this person? Where was I? How can I defend against that? So it's not a fair fight. And then they brought claims under the Mann Act. And the Mann Act has been historically problematic, and it was no less problematic in this case as well. I believe that the government misused those statutes in order to gain convictions against R. Kelly that were not fair. And there's much that the jury didn't hear that they should have heard.
Jennifer, I'm a lawyer too, so I understand what you're saying, and I'm able to think about this in a logical, obviously legal way, setting aside my emotion. But for the lay person, the person that's watching right now, and who's watched our coverage of R. Kelly's trial, who believe that he's finally being held accountable for abusing Black women and girls, they don't care about a fair fight, right? They be creative. They're probably thinking, hey, however way the government could do it, they finally did, and it's done. I don't care. Explain why it matters to everyone ultimately that we essentially, there's a checks and balances when it comes to prosecution.
Yeah, that's right. And I can appreciate that there's emotions that run high, and people don't necessarily value how the government goes about getting what they consider to be justice. But when the government runs amok, right now it's R. Kelly, tomorrow it's somebody else. And maybe it's someone you care about tomorrow. Maybe it's a loved one of yours. To keep the government honest and to keep them in check, the system has to work for all of us, the R. Kellys of the world, the Bill Cosbys of the world, and then people that we don't even know. And so my job is to make sure the government does it the fair way. And if they didn't do it fair, it just doesn't count. It's like if you cheat during a football game and you want to declare victory, you can't because you cheated. And it is my job to hold the government responsible and to hold their feet to the fire. And I believe that was not done. It hasn't been done, but we're hoping to do it.
So, I've had this conversation with colleagues for years. And in fact, we had a conversation about it on the show a few weeks back about the blowback that attorneys risk facing from the public over who they choose to represent. I get tweets from viewers asking why I keep inviting certain lawyers who represented less than desirable clients. And of course, that question that we all get, defense lawyers get, how can you defend a guilty person? I'm curious, how would you respond? What would be your response to that question?
Well, I first of all, let me start by saying that that is a general question I get all the time. I don't know whether it's specific to R. Kelly or not, and I'm not here to, I don't trust the verdict that came back in R. Kelly's case. So I'm not going to say he's guilty until I believe that there was a fair process. I don't rely on verdicts where the process was not fair. So let me make that clear. I do not believe that the verdict is a reliable indicator of whether R. Kelly is in fact factually guilty. But to your general question of, how do you represent unpopular people? How do you represent people that the media has already convicted? How do I represent them? I'm a defense attorney, and that's what I do. And I believe to my core that the government needs to be held accountable, and when they don't go about this process in a fair and just way, that is a miscarriage of justice, and it affects all of us. And I guess I just really believe in that principle. It just doesn't matter to me whether it's R. Kelly or Bill Cosby or any number of wrongfully convicted people that I have represented over the years. It just does not matter. It's all the same to me, because if the system doesn't work for one, it doesn't work for any of us. And I guess I'm just really focused on that principle. And it doesn't, my view is if you're a defense attorney and you can't get with that idea, then maybe find a different career. It's really one of the fundamental tenets of what we do.
Jennifer, I wish we had more time. I could talk about this all day with you, and I'm hoping that you do come back. But I've got time for just one question.
Sure.
As women attorneys, we're assumed to have more empathy for accusers. And so there's a lot more pressure on us on who we choose to represent than, say, male attorneys. Is that fair?
Well, I think it's a little ridiculous. I mean, women are capable of anything, right? We're capable of being president. We're capable of being vice president. We're also capable of bad. We're capable of lying. We're capable of the gamut of things. Why? Because we're human beings. And to think that we are either this, this virtuous, perfect person versus evil, we're capable of all of it. So to say that we somehow have a greater ability to be, empathic, I think once we go down that road, that leads to a bad place. Women and men are capable of all types of emotions, motivations, and they can be incentivized by anything. And that's just how I view it. So no, I guess I don't think it's fair.
There you have it. Jennifer Bonjean, pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so very much for your time tonight.
All right, guys, let's get this conversation started. I took some notes of some of the things that attorney Jennifer Bonjean said, and I wanted to get some of you guys' input on it. I'm going to put the link in here so we can have this discussion. First off, let's give a shout out to Jennifer. What are you clicking?
Hmm.
Cracking nuts? What are you clicking?
Keep on point, please.
Because he's clicking it. It's just like, oh, just like when I chew, it bothers you. Stop clicking, dude. Stop. Okay, yeah. Shout out to Robert's attorney, Miss Jennifer Bonjean. I really want to I appreciate her taking on this case and seeing the injustice that was done to Robert Sylvester Kelly. We know for a fact what we saw on at that courthouse in the courtroom was not a fair playing field. It was not. He entered it on the where one side already had 50, he started with 0. So we know for a fact because number one, the news had already convicted him on public opinion. There was a surviving R. Kelly 1, 2, and now it's going to be 3, and they had the aftermath. They had all of these negative things, and they had big bloggers giving out information about what was happening to him in jail and spewing out his personal information. You had every single news outlet, national news outlet, giving him all the negative publicity of him already being convicted. Then you had the parents putting out um, having false, what, press release, what was that? What's that thing called when they do the press conferences? And I mean, he entered that courtroom in a losing position already, right? Not only did he enter the courtroom in that position, but prior to the trial starting, the judge made some rulings that were against him. You know, rulings like you couldn't talk about the accuser's background, sexual relationship. You couldn't talk about the parents. You couldn't bring up hit Mr. Kelly's good side, nothing that was talked about that was good about him unless he testified. It was forcing him to testify, which he has a right to remain silent. He has a right, he doesn't have to get on the witness stand. But the prosecutor also said that if he did get on the witness stand, they were going to do hours and hours of grilling him. So they had him at a disadvantage from the get go. Straight out the gate, he was already convicted by public opinion. So it was extremely hard. Okay, now wait, let me back up a little bit. There was more stuff that happened before the trial began. Do you guys remember there was a cursio hearing that Terry, what is that?
Yes.
There's something
Nothing.
you clicking.
I ain't clicking anything.
Y'all, don't y'all hear him clicking something?
No.
Maybe it's your something on your phone. But anyway, there was let me mute him, y'all, because he's clicking something.
I'm not clicking nothing. I'm
I'm
just
gonna
sitting
mute
up
him.
here.
I'm gonna mute him. Yeah, you see them, everybody saying, yeah, there's something you clicking, and it's distracting me and it's causing me to forget my train of thought. But yeah, you had the prosecutor. There was a cursio hearing. Do you remember the cursio hearing that ate up some of the time that for them to get like going with the trial? You had that cursio hearing. You had the there was some other thing that went on. And then you had new new attorneys coming in, which the judge did not give them ample amount of time to review the case because there was two attorneys that was there already. So the judge relied on those two attorneys. Now remember, those two attorneys was complaining about Steve not giving them the information. There was so much stuff that was happening, which was documented in the case, that he was already behind the eight ball. It was already a losing battle for him. Okay. Now, the great thing about this is that even though Mr. Canick and Mr. Calvin, what's Calvin's last name? Shoulder? Shoulder? I forgot his last name. But even though those two came in late into the game, they were still able to put some dent in all the negativity that was being spewed about Mr. Kelly. Okay. Then you had his own attorney, y'all. I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody, but I'm just telling you facts that what happened in the case. You had his own attorney making an error, saying, "Oh, you should find him guilty," and then change it, say, "Oh no, not guilty." You had all of these things that's putting into the juror's mind that he was already operating in a deficit. Okay. He couldn't even catch up to where the government was. And now, okay, now let's get inside the trial. You had the trial where it was hidden. You did not have the support. He didn't see the support from his fans and stuff in that courtroom because they limited amount of people. They only had 8 of us, and the thousands of not thousand, I'm just exaggerating, more news people who was already on the other side, which was the mainstream media. You had them. Then you had the jurors. They didn't take that long to pick them. The jurors was just like picked within a couple of 2.5 days. They were just picked just like that. All of this was against. This is not a fair playing field that normally happens in a courtroom. Okay, now let's make a comparison with what's happening here in Georgia. Okay, you see the case with Aubrey, right? Now he is the victim now, right? He's deceased and victim, and they're fighting this case. Now, how much fairness are given to those people who are the accused? How much? You have a jury that's almost all white, right? They took their time picking the jury. They even have, I mean, it looks already that their side is already winning. You don't hear all the negativity that's been spewed about Robert in this case. Everything's been hush hush. They said something about it in the beginning. In fact, they had to march for them to even get a charges against these guys. Do you understand what I'm saying? The guy, they did it to him in February, right? They didn't get him on a charge until like around April or May, months later. I'm just showing you how the justice system is so jacked up when it comes to people that are brown, black, people that are minorities. The justice system is not a fair playing field. And I know a lot of people are joyous, and the ones that's alleged victim saying, "Oh, they got him anyway," even though it was done unfair. They got a conviction. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Even though they got a conviction that was not done the right way, you have black people who knows that the justice system is not fair rejoicing because they feel they got Mr. Kelly. They feel they got him, and by any means necessary, we got him. But they got to also remember the color of their skin, the culture that they live in, the nationality that they are. Because let me tell you, just like they got Mr. Kelly, they could get your uncle, your brother, your cousin, your father, your friend, your anything that's representing a male figure. They're going to come after them because you're giving them that ammunition because you thought you're getting Mr. Kelly in an unfair way, and it's going to backfire on your behind because they're going to come after your male family member and even sometime your female family member, depending where they stand. So all this extra stuff that you guys clapping and shouting, "Oh yeah, 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 we got it, we got him." You got to think about yourself. You got to think about your brothers. You got to think about where you stand in America. And I'm not doing any kind of racist rant or anything like that. I'm not doing that. But I'm just giving you reality, a reality check of what the justice system has done. How many lynching that they have done on people of color? How many lynchings have we have gone through? How many time a woman, look at Emmett Till, a woman, there's those boys in the South, women were lying on them. They are no longer here because they allowed the lynching of these men, black men. And what you're doing now, you're allowing it in 2021 of this one black man because you have some personal issues in your background regarding someone violating you. So you feel that Robert Sylvester Kelly should pay for the sins of all men who has hurt some sort of woman. And a lot of you guys say go back and say, "Oh, look, he had a tape." Okay, let's back up. The tape, whether or not you believe he's on it or not on it, he was found not guilty. Now, if you're still holding that against him, that means you need to hold everybody that has won a case and bring those charges back on them too. That's what you need to do. Because for some strange reason, this man cannot be found not guilty. Y'all still got it in your head. Oh, what about Aaliyah? What about Aaliyah? Her parents allowed the relationship. You do not supersede the parents' agreement to whatever relationship he had with her. If he had a relationship, because I don't know. But I'm just saying, I've heard interviews on top of interviews on top of interviews that the parents were there. So if they allowed the relationship, Why is it any of your business? Why is it any of your business? If her mom's still not saying a freaking thing. Now all of a sudden you're gonna be the juror, the judge of her mom having that type of relationship? No, it's your headset, sir. Nobody hears it. It because everybody else hears. There he go. He's still starting up. Yeah, we do have a headset. I have a headset now because my mic is not working too well. But anyway, there y'all go with that. This I'm not gonna read y'all comments anymore. But anyway, the mom and dad did not stop the relationship from going on. So why is it in your business? Now, I'm just real talking to you guys here. Just real talk. Because I don't understand these people. Worry about yourself. Like that little boy said, worry about yourself. Mind your business. Stay in your lane. Until you could be a prosecutor, you could be a judge, that's when you could open up your mouth, right? Because everybody has opinion of what shoulda, coulda, would have been done. And so now you want to try this man in public domain. You already convicted him, and then when you get to the trial, he's already at a disadvantage. Period. I just need you guys to be really realistic of what's going on and get your feelings aside. Go get the help that you need for your own issues that you have with the molestation. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but Robert Sylvester Kelly is not your problem. Go get John down the street that raped you. Go get your uncle who's been touching you at night. That's who you need to go after, and leave Mr. Kelly alone. Okay. Now, some of the things that she did raise was like she said that the government could have charged him years ago, which is a true fact. If they had so much evidence back 20 something years ago after the 2008 trial, they should have came back and charged him with whatever stuff that they supposedly charging him right now. Because all these people, if you look at it, they're all back in 2006, 2000 and 1994, 1991, 90, what was the other one? 96. Like one of the girls was in 1996. Why you guys didn't charge him back then? So it wouldn't have to be a RICO. You would have been within the state's statute of limitation. Why didn't you do it back then? No, because there's a bigger agenda behind this. This is a bigger agenda. Since you have this Me Too movement and all this extra stuff that's going on, you want to what? Add that to your list of men that you have gotten because of the Me Too movement. Okay. Then she mentioned how they brought the RICO charge in so they could supersede the statute of limitation, the state's last statute of limitation, right? She talked about how they used an overwhelming that they made the evidence and stuff so overwhelming to the jury that the jury couldn't even comprehend half of the stuff that was going on. You had juries who only focus on what the prosecutor brought about Aaliyah and that infamous past relationship of that tape that Mr. Kelly had. Because the woman that supposedly said that Mr. Kelly would raped her, they didn't find her information to be credible, right? And also the Azriel's testimony. They said there was inconsistencies in her testimony. How do you have someone who is lying on the witness stand to be the star witness for your case and she's a liar? She couldn't get her story straight. Even when you guys prompting her and preparing her and days of testimony, days of going over the she still had to look to you for information because at one point Mr. Caddick said, "Don't look over there. Don't look over there." but she was relying on the information that the prosecutor trained her to bring about. Okay, that was another thing that was a problem. She said how I'm reading here. It says here that uh, there was no notice basically given to Mr. Kelly. His life was being um, put on the trial, meaning 30 years of his life. Who's going to remember everything they did for 30 years? I can't remember what I ate last night. What makes you think he's gonna remember who supposedly had sex with him? And these women don't remember it either. They're making up stuff. They don't remember. How you gonna remember 20 years ago that this man uh made you walk down, you had on this outfit, and how you gonna remember that? But then when they ask you what happened a week ago, you tell them you don't remember.
Yeah, and she hi everybody. She also was kind of saying like the way that they did it, he didn't have time enough to prepare to fight, you know. Um they just threw everything at him. 30 years of his life he's got to figure out how to defend, but
Ma'am,
no
ma'am,
time to do so.
ma'am. It's not
Hmm?
time yet. Not time yet, ma'am. I ain't finished my list yet. You being
Oh,
like
I'm sorry.
Terry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me close it down. Let me mute myself.
I have a list right here. Hold on, let me show y'all. I have a list right here, okay? I have a
Okay.
list.
Okay. I'll go in the corner.
Oh my God, you and Terry, Lord have mercy. Okay, here go. Now they talk about they charge him with the Mann Act, right? And she mentioned how the Mann Act has a historical problem with that particular act. There are cases where that Mann Act was not applied correctly. And this case here is one of those cases that they applied. Okay. Then they talk about that the coverage on the news, basically, the coverage on the news was one sided. You only saw all the negative things from the news in regard to Mr. Kelly. They call him all kinds of names. Predator, that ugly P word I cannot stand saying. I will not put it on my channel, but they call him that. They called him disgrace singer. They called him everything that is negative. Negative. Okay. Then it says there was no checks and balance against the government. Nobody was checking the government. Hey, 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 don't do this. Hey, hey, hey. No, the judge condoned the mess that the government was doing. Okay. Then you had it says here, how can you defend? They ask her how can she be in a defend someone who's been guilty. I mean, who's was declared guilty, right? She says she did not trust the verdict, meaning the verdict that they received was not done fairly, was not a fair process. The process of the whole conviction was not fair because why? The jury did not get to hear fully all the evidence. The judge blocked the stuff for the defense side. So how can you have a fair verdict when the verdict everything was leaning towards the prosecution side? That in itself is an injustice, right? Then to talk about the media absolutely already convicted him. We know that. She believed to the core of her in her gut that the government actually operated in an unfair manner. And then at the end, they asked her how can she, as a woman attorney, with all the pressure that they put on her as a woman attorney, how can she basically, I'm paraphrasing into my own word, how can she go against the women that has been who has accused them? And basically she says, hey, in my own word, women lie too. Okay, now we can open up. All right, Terry and Tanya. Now they don't want to talk.
Terry's being stubborn now.
Okay, that's all right. I'll kick him off this panel in a
No,
minute.
don't kick him
You
off.
put me on mute.
You
You
put
think
him
you would
on
have
mute.
unmute me?
You can unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Terry.
No, you go, TJ. Ladies first. I
Okay.
don't want to be accused of clicking some with that cheap headset she got.
My opinion is, I was saying earlier, she made it a purpose decision to say, he didn't have time to fight. Like, you're wanting him to defend his whole entire life, but you don't give him time to fight. He had nothing to fight with. He didn't know what they had, what they were doing, blah, blah, blah. And so he couldn't have won this situation. She also basically let that lady say that it's real stupid for you to think that women, because we're women, we're supposed to agree with the other women that lie. She said women lie too. We do stupid stuff too. So I was jumping and shouting last night when I was hearing her talk. I'm like, yes, that's what Robert needs. She's going to get him out of there. My opinion. Got some more
I
stuff,
agree.
but go ahead.
I agree. No, go ahead. I agree with you 1,000% on that one.
Go ahead, Terry.
I agree too.
So what did you think about her interview, Terry?
I think her interview was outstanding. And I also think that anytime someone that has the expert background that she has with previous cases tell the truth, the interviewer always want to cut them short. You notice that? Well, we're running out of time, and I just really have time for one more question. It's like you had this woman on, you had this lady on here for about what, maybe 5 minutes? I'm pretty sure that if she was saying something of the opposite, she would have been on there longer. You know what I mean? So that's what I pay attention to. It's like when she was making the points about what she felt the system was doing or hadn't done for our brother. She was like the judge when Kanik is cross examining and making good points. Then all of a sudden she wants a sidebar to stop him, his momentum of the progress he's making against the witness. So this interviewer seemed like the same way when Jennifer was telling her and letting her know exactly how he was, where we got to use set up, railroaded. They didn't want to listen to that too much. So she just had 3 questions, I guess, that she really wanted to answer and just break away. So that's what I saw. But Jennifer made all the points that we had actually talked about when we seen after the verdict happened. And we had our discussions and what we observed and what I observed from the jury to everything. So to hear her make those points, again, is just satisfying to me.
It was satisfying by
What happened? Hello?
We hear you.
No, I was done.
Stat, did you want to say something?
Hello. Hi, everyone. It looks like we're going through the whole thing about Gail again. This reporter here is talking in a way that, she's going against, Rob. So she's trying to make the attorney feel like if she's doing something wrong by defending him. Do you know what I mean? Like she started talking about, so you know, why would you want to take this case? Like, she's already going towards the negative way of this whole thing. So it just seems like it's just never going to end with the negativity coming about these reporters.
Exactly, stats. That's why I felt she cut it short, because
Right.
she didn't like what the attorney was saying and the reply she was
Exactly.
getting. She didn't like it, so she wanted to cut it short. So I've watched reporters, do interviews with people, and trust me, when they feel that it's not going their way, they want to cut it short. Well, that's all we
Because
have time for. I'm like, she hasn't even been on here long enough.
I could only imagine, though, it must have been kind of difficult for her to even get an interview from this attorney. Since
Hmm.
she's a very good attorney, they don't really do interviews like that.
Hmm.
But, it seems like she only had a couple of questions that she was going to ask. And when she saw that the attorney was kind of kicking her towards the I'm not going to answer the bullshit, type of questions,
Your
she
mouth,
had
your
to just
mouth,
end it right there,
your mouth. Clean channel, clean channel.
Oh, I'm sorry. It just gets me really aggravated when I see this. And then she puts it on the TV thinking that the attorney is going to say something, very negative about the case. She wasn't expecting for her to say all the positive, all the positive stuff coming out that are going to go against, these liars.
Exactly.
But yeah, she knows how. She's a good attorney, and she's going to get, all around all the people that lied. She's going to get all over them. And it's going to finally, come to an end. I have hope, and I have a lot of hope that this attorney, not saying that Koenig is not a good attorney or anything like that. I think he's a good attorney too. But this attorney, she already knows how she's going to get the attention that the judge commit a couple of things that she shouldn't have had done. But she already knows what way to take and the injustice that was served in here.
Well,
That's what I think.
you notice the judge did not come back and want a redo of her decisions that she had made at the time. She didn't
Mm,
say anything about that as long as Kanik and the representation he still had was in play. It wasn't basically until Jennifer got on board, and then all of a sudden, here it is, a redo of why I made my decisions on what it is that I made. I mean, on the decisions that I
yeah.
made. So,
But I
she's
heard that
basically trying to
standard.
clean it up. Hmm?
I heard that standard. A lot of people, and there's an attorney that I check with, they said that's standard. They do that.
Yeah, but she still came in there and still wanted to get it on the record. You know what I mean? So if she wouldn't have said that, it would have been on the record of what she'd done. But she needed to get it on the record of why she did what she did. Still didn't make it right, but she wanted to at least put it on the record. So that way, I guess when it goes before, let's say, an appeal uh, committee, and they look at it, they say, well, she did explain why she did this, as opposed to just saying, okay, yeah, he wins this appeal because of that. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
so yeah, it could be standard, but she still came back. I still think that she actually see the representation that he has, and so it's like, okay, let me go back and just basically, because my thing is, why didn't she do it right away? If that was the case, I'm pretty sure she probably read over the case, or she may not have read over the case, after the verdict came down. So you would think that if you're a judge and you got the verdict, okay, let me go back and see what it is that where I may have made the mistake or may have erred or may have done this and just fix it real quick. I mean, she did this, what, several weeks after the fact? If I'm not mistaken, Sylvia?
But
Because,
I like the fact that she talks very confident about this case. Like she needs to shut all of these people that talk in a way that make all these people feel that he is guilty. So that's good that the way she talks, it's a way that, she's gonna show everyone that he's not what they're saying that he is. So that's good that she talks like that. Because there's some attorneys that they don't like to talk about this, these things, except for Greenberg, but
Yeah, they don't like to tilt
right.
their thinking towards the prosecution to be able to defend it when the time does come, So you're
Right.
right.
But you see, if you hear her, she says real straight up,
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh
you can feel that she says the liars, and that's not what the case is. That absolutely, she just had to hear one or two things, and she already knew.
hmm
So people hear that, and they starts to think, makes them want to think, well, is he really, is he really not guilty? Hopefully all the other news reporters will interview her, and it'll get around to that. Like, well, it looks like he's not guilty because, like, all the news reporters now, they're trying to interview the attorney, and this is what the attorney is saying out there. They need to start looking into those, the ones that accused him.
yeah. Yeah, it was spot on. I read that. I've seen it. The interview was, I mean, it was, but again, I know when a reporter or whoever tends to want to cut the interview, it's like to them. And believe
Yeah,
me,
and then she says she's
they
an
have an ear.
attorney too.
Yeah,
She
they have
calls
an
herself an
earpiece in their
attorney.
ear. They have an earpiece in their ear from the
Yeah.
people behind the scenes that's directing this and okay, let's wrap this up. You know what I mean? There was some positive news that got out, and I hope that the other stations will not news station, but I sent Sylvia a link where Ricky Smiley, they were talking about it. Well, I guess Gary with the T was talking about bringing up about R. Kelly and how they felt that he was what happened to him, and that it's possibility that he just might win his appeal and everything. So my kudos and hats off to Ricky Station for putting it out there, and
Yeah.
letting them know.
I just hope that, that Rob can maintain his peace in his head and try to hold on, because I can only imagine how they treating him right now, so he won't make it. And that just really upsets me.
Sylvia, you quiet? You had a list. What else on that list so we can keep talking about it?
No, I read my list. Hold on a second.
I know.
You didn't take notes of what I said?
No, I
All right.
wasn't what you said.
Next part was when she talked about the Mann Act. Now, she said that the Mann Act was a problematic act that they use in Robert's case. Now, what are some of the things that you know about the Mann Act that you see as being problematic?
Well, the fact that they never used it ever before. This is the only time that they used this right here.
Well, they
From the
did.
time, no, listen. From the time that Jack Johnson was convicted of it.
No,
I'm
they
trying to,
Chuck Berry was convicted of it too.
well, I was getting ready to go down the line and say Jack Johnson, Chuck Berry. Now, who after Chuck Berry was convicted of the Mann Act? Is there anyone?
Yeah, then that white guy that just recently got convicted, he was convicted of the Mann Act. One second,
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
just recently. But how many rock stars have done that and not one of them been convicted yet? I mean, not convicted, not one of them been charged yet?
No, none of the rock stars. No. Jason Pope is the other one that was charged with it.
Hmm.
Keith
And Jason.
Rainier, Jason Pope.
Mm. But yet and still, this law has been on the books since 1910. Hello?
Was that a question?
Yeah, I said, but yet and still, this law has been on the books since 1910.
Yeah. hmm
Yeah.
There's been some adjustments to the law, and I know I think 1978 there was some adjustment done to the law, and 80, 80 something.
But Jennifer's point was they had to go to this law in order to be able, the prosecution had to go to that law in order to be able to charge him for, I think there's two witnesses, well, that was in 94 and 96 to keep, because the statute of limitations would have played a part in it if they had not done that, correct?
No, the RICO law is the what that caused them to be able to go back without statute of limitation. It was the RICO part, not
Okay,
the
yeah,
Mann Act.
recall. Yeah. See, so as they said, there's always two justices, and it was never really put in place for us to receive justice, and so um, they allow the federal government and whatever entity one run wild with anything that they want to do as far as wanting to secure convictions and things like that, because from what we saw and what we heard and the speaking of Clary's and them after the fact, is that this here, and like Jennifer said, this trial here was nothing more than about R. Kelly's life and basically his sex life. It wasn't nothing that they could have or should have actually even brung this forth and stuff. So I just believe that it was the jealousy of not just them, but of certain people in the entertainment industry, and we know who that is. I'm not gonna say the name, but his name is, I mean, his initials is JL, because he was actually in Surviving R. Kelly, giving his opinion about how he felt about R. Kelly, you know, and that's the jealousy right there. Because if you're not able to dominate the charts, let's just say on the R&B level, and this man here was basically the king R&B, you want to eliminate the competition as best as you can, even if that's going forth and supporting some district attorneys and accusations of, you know, young, uh, well, not young, but people that lie and allow the federal government to use that and almost probably threaten, I don't know, but I'm just assuming, allegedly, that, these are the tactics that they use. They'll sit there and say that they watched it, and they'll bring them in to interview, right? And then they say, okay, so is this part true or not? I don't remember something. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're lying to any federal agents or federal government, you can be prosecuted, blah, blah, blah. So is your testimony this? Yes, it is. Okay, so we're going to just extend it a little more and say a little more to it, a little more about what it is that you're testifying to. And you need to remember what it is that you're telling us, you know. And so they're nervous. It's a lot of times on cross examination, they just didn't, they say they didn't remember, or yeah, they didn't remember because they didn't want to appear to be lying on the stand. So the best thing you can say is that I don't recall, I don't remember. That's the next best thing to keep you from lying on the stand. So I think they all had a part in this, especially the prosecutors, with overcharging, overreaching, and now we just need to bring Jane Doe's on and have them to stay with the narrative of what we're prosecuting him against, and you just need to be able to fill in, a little of this to the jury. And it doesn't matter, but just play your part right there. We'll handle the rest, in my opinion. Just what it seems like they did. Because the jury, as Jennifer said, did not look at the pieces of the exhibition, the exhibits. I've been saying that all along. You couldn't have. It's just no way. There was just too much. So there's no way that you could have examined, all of this right here and just came back with it unless your mind was already made up. It's just my opinion, that's all.
Okay. Guys, I also want to bring about the previous interview or outcry by I'm gonna play it, and I'm not gonna put it on the screen because I don't know, TMZ might try to do the striking thing and blocking thing. I don't like that. So, but I'm gonna play what's been going on the IG world in regard to her parents making an outcry. I'm talking about Joycelyn Savage, her father making an outcry because her mother, the grandmother passed away, and he's making an outcry as if Robert is the reason why she's not in communications with them. And I'm gonna play this for you guys. Just give me a moment on this. Hold on a second. Just one second. There we go. He did an outcry. Hold on. Here we go. They say the parents plead for her to come home. Just one second. Trying to get to my little messages here. Hold on. I have it here. Just like, hold on. Wait a minute. Let's see. Hold on. It's gonna play. It's coming to play now. Hold on. Why it's not playing? Come on. Okay, here it is. It's gonna play. Play this.
We tried to reach out to Joycelyn when my father passed. We have to always reach out through his camp, Robert Sylvester's camp. And the same time that we had to reach out through his camp through my father, the same way we did, the same way this time from Jonathan's mother. No response whatsoever. It's time up for that. It's just time out for all that. She needs to come.
Joseph, we need to hear from you directly.
Absolutely.
We've always heard the third-party information, and we were able to hear from her directly without what I call prison calls, where the calls are scripted and they are known to be scripted.
Everybody want to say she's grown. Let me hear from a grown woman. I want to hear from my daughter. That's what I want to hear from. I want to hear from no third party. I want to hear exactly from Joycelyn Savage, period.
We would like to have a one-on-one discussion with you as a family.
Listen, Robert is locked up. All these enablers need to move aside. Joycelyn, I need to see you at that funeral. Just that simple.
Yeah. Now, let's discuss this. Hold on a second. Let's discuss this right now. From my understanding, Joycelyn is 26 years old, right? And Mr. Kelly has been incarcerated for since July 12, 2019. And they're still crying that same cry about her being held by his enablers. Now, what enabler? What is he talking about?
He's trying to keep him and his wife I guess, relevant, right? 20, what is it, 28 months Rod's been locked up, and you trying to say that he still holds a I guess, a control over your grown daughter? No. I believe your daughter did not like the lies that you spewed
No,
to
but it's
get.
something I believe something happened prior to them even for him before she even got with Mr. Kelly.
Well, I'm
There's
saying
some
that,
rooted stuff on there.
yeah, but the fact that they still played a part and her man being locked up is not going to get her to speak to you. She's a grown, she does not have to say what she has been doing. She does not have to say anything to you. You don't have to call. You don't have to. She's not a little girl. So you're still in that mindset that, she's this young woman that's in there and his camp is keeping her locked away or not having her able to speak to him. She can speak to you if she want to speak to you. She chooses not to, and it doesn't matter if your daddy died and her mother died. It doesn't matter. Period. It doesn't matter. So why don't you just leave that on? It's like, to me, they're creating more material for this so-called uh, surviving R. Kelly after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Whatever this three label is going to be about this, to me, it's they're playing to that part right there. So that part can actually be in the Dawn show or whatever it is that they're going to do. So it can gather ratings. You can tell, you can listen to him. It just seems scripted between him and his wife for a show that they're about to be on.
Mm, 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 mm. What I got to say on the whole thing is, I can recall right after the fight when she went to court and she was standing outside where it was snowing, and they were all in her face with the cameras and things like that. She totally ignored them. There is some deep rooted stuff that has happened within those families that they're brushing it and making Robert as the scapegoat for actions and stuff that was happening in the family before he even came about. Because for her not to speak to her parents on public television like that is showing there's something's going on. Something. We don't know what it is. I can't speculate. I don't know, but it's something. It is absolutely something. And then, do you guys remember back when they were doing the so-called intervention? They were interrogating her, and she was like, "No, I did not sleep with R. Kelly, and he did not make me do this." And they kept like trying to videotape, and everything she was doing, they had someone recording. Even with her, the lady that was her friend, she recorded her conversation. Everyone that came around was recording for the parent. They had the roommate even doing stuff on their behalf. Hey, good
Joel
morning.
Jones said it.
Good
He
morning,
said, you can't
travel
blame anyone other than the parent for your relationship with your
with your
child.
child. Exactly, Joel.
Period. Thank you,
Good,
Joel.
good morning, Terry. Good morning,
Good
Sylvia.
morning, Travel.
Good morning.
Excuse me. I think the thing is the way they're coming at her. It's like you better call me, and I need you to get in touch with me right
Hmm.
now. Like Terry said, that's a grown woman. If she wanted to talk to you, she know how to dial your number.
Hmm.
She knows how to excuse me. She know where you are.
Hmm.
If she wanted to correspond with you, she know exactly where you are and exactly your phone number. So, like they said, leave her the hell alone.
They're acting out to me. They're acting the same
For
way
that show,
they
like you
acted
said.
when they did the show. When they did, it's like the same freaking script they're following.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the same. It's the same. And this woman is a grown woman. And if she hasn't called you, then you need to just give her time to heal from you or whatever it is, and quit trying to seek attention as though Rob, who's been locked away for over 28 months, still has a mind control over your daughter. She
Yeah.
is choosing to be there with him because she is a faithful woman to her man.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with what you plotted, what you planned. And now you're trying to talk to her like she's a kid. You better call me. You need to call me. And you need to, man, get out of here with that mess, dude. Blame yourself, you and your wife, for the reason why your child is not talking to you. Period.
And
Okay, I'm getting ready. Go ahead.
as Sylvia said, when she was coming out of court and her family was all in her face, she was on the phone ignoring them, and they jumping in front of them. She tell them, stop, stop. You know what I'm saying? Psh, leave the
Okay,
girl alone.
I'm going to read out some of the things that some people are putting in the chat. Candy said some kids are wild when their parents have done everything for their child. It does happen. Okay, we have Brenda said facts. The parents is the blame for everything that is happening. They started 100% all of this.
Exactly.
Okay, let's see. Um, okay. All right.
Sylvia said.
So that is Jennifer said Jennifer will definitely speak with Joy and more lies will come out in reference to all the thug involved.
I put a hashtag out, uh, mute John
You,
Legend.
I've seen that. And that's true because he was the hater. He was the hater. This is jealousy that I figured from him. You got more issues at home than you need to be worrying about over here. Take care of your home first. But that is true. I think a lot of things are going to get canceled and exposed once Jennifer starts shaking the table in the next few months, sweet one. That's right, because we got a good one. Just sit back and just watch. 2022 is going to be exciting, even though it's going to take to the middle of 2022. But this is one that I'm not, if I'm here, God willing, I'm not going to miss because I want to see this right here.
All right, guys. I need you guys to know if you signed those petitions. Terry, did you sign those petitions we have out
Yes, I did.
on
Yes,
both
I did.
the two that
Yeah,
we did yesterday? What about you, Travel the World?
That you did yesterday. I
That
don't know
was out.
what you
No,
did.
no, that we put out on the link. There was the
The
link
Jack
for
Johnson
Trina.
one.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Jack Johnson, and then there was another one. There's two of them that's out that we need you guys to sign. One of them has only 353. The other one only has 300. I need you guys to sign it. And
put the
we got
link in there.
178. We have 178 in the chat. Terry, do you have it so you could put it in the link in?
No, no, I'm asking the mods if the mods have it to put it inside
Terry,
there.
why you don't have anything to help
I'll
out?
look for it.
Thank you.
What is this? Pick on Terry before Saturday night there?
It's
Something. I mean
not pick
Saturday
on
night show.
Terry. It's not
Yes,
pick
as I can tell when you and your little followers up here in the chat.
I am
I
not
can
in
tell
my
you're
little
trying to get us
followers.
started.
What
No, your
what are you
little,
talking about?
they know who I'm talking about. And next,
What are
and
you
here
talking
comes,
about?
yeah, okay. Stop taking. Candy, you've been on one. I thought you've been my London friend, but you really
Okay,
been
someone's
misbehaving.
evangelist Evangelist Bowley Jack, I don't know who that is, says Joycelyn grandmother just died and her parents want her to come to the funeral. It might be one of them. If you all know to contact Joyce, please tell her to come home right away. Listen, I think Joy already knows her grandparent died, and it is a choice for her to go or not go to the funeral. Let me tell you, just because a person does not attend a funeral, it's not the end of the world because there are
Exactly.
people who don't do funerals. Y'all know that? There are people who don't do funerals like that, even if it's your grandparent. I don't do funerals. My sister passed away. I saw her alive while she was in the hospital, because I do
Mm-hmm.
not like to see somebody in no coffin. That's just me,
Mm-hmm.
y'all. That's why I told them, when I die, burn me up. Because
Mm-hmm.
I hate the sight of seeing somebody in a coffin. That's just
Mm-hmm.
me. Yeah, I've just, I've used to do, I used to be a choir member and used to sing at funerals. That was the worst part of the choir, being in the choir for me. I hate seeing people inside a coffin. Don't do me that way. So there are people like that. So for folks get upset because she don't want to go to a funeral, does not mean she hate her grandparent.
That's
It's
right.
maybe the type of person she don't do funerals. We don't know.
Or like you just said, a
I don't
lot
do
of
funerals.
people want to remember their
Loved
parent,
ones alive.
grandparent, or whatever
Yeah.
when they were alive in their last moments with them. Because when you look, a lot of times, when you look down upon a person that is no longer here,
I don't like
it
that.
kind of stays in that image stays in your mind. You know what I'm saying, for a minute and stuff. So
Hmm.
she don't want to remember that. She want to remember her grandmother as when she talked to her, and probably conversations that they had and stuff like that. She don't want to see her laying stiff. It's all about publicity for
Yes,
her
it is.
parent.
It is publicity. Because I'm telling you right now, me and my sister was tight, y'all, tighter than tight. But did I
Hmm.
go to her funeral? Heck no. When she was in the hospital, I was there right before she died, because even the doctor told me to say my goodbyes to my sister. And that was the
Hmm.
hardest thing,
That's
because my
right.
sister was right there in a coma.
That's
And
right.
I talked to her and I told her goodbye, because by the time I got home, the doctor called me and told me she had passed. So I
Hmm.
was fine. I didn't have to
Hmm.
turn around and go back to the funeral, because I don't like that. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. That's just me.
And that's
I'm
just
just
the
being
way.
honest.
Well, that's true, Sylvia. That's true. But her parents
You're right.
want
They do
her
make
to
them
be
publicity.
there because I guarantee you they're going to call media. They're going to call all of them because they know that the media still want to talk to her, and ask her all these outrageous, stupid, invasive questions. I mean, these private questions that belongs to her. And if I can get her there, and if she says that she's coming, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to alert the media, and then I'm going to put on a show for the media. And
Mhm.
she's doing that. She's staying away from all that. She's staying above all that and stuff. My grandmother, I wish her well. And so you just going to have to be mad at me. Then you're going to have to be mad at me because I'm
Yeah.
not calling you and I'm not attending. So catch the hint.
I agree. I agree. I agree on that. It's a publicity stunt.
It is.
It's a publicity stunt to give more ammunition for people to feel sorry for them. And she's 26 years old, people. She's grown as they grown.
Yes.
She's
Yes, she
past the
is.
21 of drinking. She's past 18 where you can sign a document. She's
Yeah.
grown. Grown as they
Yes.
grown. It's her choice. She's not a 12-year-old, 15-year-old that's under somebody's home. She's grown.
Exactly.
Oh my
Exactly.
God.
Her choices and her decisions are hers, not yours. They're hers.
He doing
So
a
I know.
play on there tomorrow. You better call. You better come to the
Yeah,
funeral. You better do this.
you heard that like she was still a child. You know what I'm saying? He's still trying to approach her. And what she's looking at, and probably what she's looking at, is that you still have no respect for me as a grown woman. You're talking to me like I'm a kid, telling me what I better do and who I need to call, and I better call. I'm a grown woman. And she's even smarter by not voicing that out to, let's say, to some vlogger or something, and say, my dad and them. She's taking my hats off to her, I have to say, because she could be putting them on blast and say, look, I told you to leave me alone, and stuff, and I don't want to go or whatever, and just keep it going. She's not. She's just quiet. And as my grandmother used to say, is silence speaks volumes. So she don't have to say anything. Let them keep talking. We know what it's about.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's in. What's up, Gucci? You up in here, man? Come on up here in this panel, brother.
Gucci's not coming up here.
Come
Gucci
on,
got stuff
Gucci.
going on.
No, Gucci, if you ain't busy, brother, come on in here for a minute. Come in for a second. I want to ask you something. See if you're appearing later on. But yeah,
Terry. This is not the channel for the conversation of
I
that,
didn't say
sir.
no. I want to get Gucci on.
Oh
I
my
know what
God.
this channel is about,
Oh
Sylvia.
my Lord, have mercy.
See, when
One
you make
track
comments like
mind,
that,
man.
and nobody said nothing about what we didn't even talk about what it
You
was
said
about.
something about later on. You did
No,
say
I
that.
want to find out if he's coming on.
You could have texted him. Y'all talk behind the scene. Y'all know
No,
y'all do. He
uh,
just
keep
trying to
talking.
make a scene, y'all.
Keep talking to R. Kelly because you got your little
My
your
little
little
posse. My
yeah your
posse.
little posse. Yeah, your little
Thank
posse.
you, Travel the World. Y'all just click that link that Travel the World put in there. Travel, we need both of them. The other one too. You find the other one?
I put them both in there.
Oh, I just see one.
Uh,
Oh, you put
one
them
of,
together? I need them separate if you don't mind. Hey,
I did
Gooch.
put them separate.
Hello,
Oh, you did? Okay, I
everybody.
didn't see the other one.
See
I've been
there?
in the chat chilling. Hey, those Jerry Curl people, they ain't Memphis.
You
What's
saw them?
up,
You going to
Yeah,
the
Gooch?
funeral? Why don't you go to the funeral where represent what's the name for them?
don't play with me. I saw him last night. I saw him last night. Listen, they had a iconic award show last night in Memphis that I forgot about. I went and
Oh,
I
you didn't
saw
tell us
him
about it.
outside. I saw him outside. I didn't know if he got him, but I saw him outside with his Esker.
Gucci.
Yeah,
You
cause
didn't tell us you didn't tell us
they're
about
from
your
Memphis.
award.
Oh yeah, I got my award. And I'm still
Congratulations.
drinking right now. Thank you.
Okay,
I got an
that's
award for top promoter, top planner of the year, which
congratulations.
they did it from last year, but so it's all cool.
Congratulations.
And thank you, darling dear. How my baby sister doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
I
good.
know you're doing fine. I didn't see the hair. Did you? What hair look like?
Oh, it's plaited now.
Oh, okay. Cause yesterday Terry, she had on the aluminum foil on it. Getting it, processed.
There was aluminum foil. There was a cap.
Oh,
I look.
yeah.
I
I'm
twisted
on
it
my
right now.
way.
Hold on. I'm gonna show you a little twisty right now.
Oh,
See,
oh,
twisty. Cause I'm gonna be in
oh. Okay.
commentary this morning. Go to twisty. See,
Right. I'm
I'm
on my
twisted.
way. Hey, Latrice, you should get out the house. I'm on my way over here to the big high school basketball jamboree that my company is one of the sponsor. My son, they playing now for Eastside School. So they start at 1. They're playing Christian Brother. But of course, I'm late. My son been there, though. But I'm late because I was running around. But I was in the chat and I'm listening. And I'm like, everybody, that woman is a grown woman. She can stay where she want to do because it's going to be a media circuit if she come home because they was on the news even yesterday talking about their daughter. So I hope she don't come.
Mm,
And everybody don't
mm,
do funeral because when my mom died and we cremate her, I watch from the Zoom. I'm not into funeral because
mm,
I just don't want to see people cry because when the person was alive, you wasn't crying for them. That's just how I feel.
mm. Tell them. Speak it.
Right. So me, I told my whole family when I died, everybody need to wear loud color clothes. Don't come to my funeral in no black. So I'm like Sylvia. Me and Sylvia gonna have a drink when we go to a funeral. She drinking soda, I'm drinking something. So hey, no, I gotta say hello to all my people, all my little partners in the chat. They be bigging me up. You know, Mimi is my partner though. Mimi be hard on me, boy. Woo! You dig me? Oh Lord, Miss Fat. I hope everybody having a pleasant, beautiful Saturday. It's a beautiful day in Memphis. I thought it was gonna be cold. It's 60, but it's very bright. So, you know, it's
How,
very
how long is it going to take you to drive there?
to drive where?
Where you going?
Oh man, I'm like 2 minutes away. I've been flying. I
No,
just
I'm talking about get there. You'll be able to appear tonight.
Oh yeah, partner. Yeah, to get the whole
That's right.
jamboree over at 6 o'clock. I'm going home, go sit in the jacuzzi, and be ready for tonight. Yes, yes, yes.
Sylvia, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, perfect.
Ten
So that's
o'clock
nine
y'all
o'clock
time.
my
Seven.
time.
Yeah, 7 o'clock my time. Okay,
Oh
that's all the
yeah,
part we wanted to talk about on this one right here. Let's keep it to
yeah,
something
yeah,
else.
yeah. Just go to the backup
Hmm.
channel tonight, everybody. And Mimi, I
Hmm.
want you to have your best game on tonight because I'm coming. You dig me as well,
Hmm.
you know. But I'm glad, man. And I've been keeping up with a lot of stuff, and I'm just glad that you know stuff just going right. Just continue to do what you're
Hmm.
doing, Sylvia. Don't worry about no
Hmm.
negative. Don't worry about nothing. You too much of a good lady. Hey, Stat, Anthony, you're too much of a good person to let anybody bother you. Don't let the devil let you pull your hair out your head. Don't be bald like me. All right? Yeah, Candy, I'm in that hot tub tonight, baby. I got it.
Okay, man.
They came,
That's
they
right.
cleaned it out. I fill
That's
it up
right.
with water today.
That's
And
right.
I went to the liquor store. Oh man, I'm chilling
Hmm.
tonight.
Oh, I got mine on deck too, so I can't
I'm
wait, my
chilling.
brother. As long
I'm
as she
chilling
don't
tonight.
cancel or something comes up.
I may do my show from inside the jacuzzi tonight. Ooh, 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 God, let me stop. Hey, I love when I come on here. I mean, everybody,
Hold up,
man.
hold up, hold up, y'all. I told y'all this is not the time for that conversation.
What conversation? We
Y'all
just
all
talked
talk
about
about the
tonight.
other show.
Oh no, we ain't talking about the show. We're just saying we hope to see everybody
I don't.
tonight, and that's all. We didn't say what it's about or anything because I don't know what's about. So anyway, Candy, how you doing, darling? Hey, Rachel, baby. Mr. 41444, what's up? You
Yeah,
know?
it's over 10 minutes, bro. You talking about you was coming in here, Mister 444? It done been past 10 minutes.
Yeah, I've been in the
Can you
in the
guys
booth
hear me?
watching.
Yeah, I can hear you,
Okay. I'm
Who-
I
Who's that?
Hi everyone. Hi
Tanya.
Gucci. This is
Tanya.
Tanya.
Hi, oh, it's Sonya. Hi, baby.
Tanya.
Tanya,
Tanya. Not
TJ.
Sonya. Tanya.
That's Tanya. I thought you said Sonya. Hey, Tanya, I apologize. How you doing?
No problem. I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Cannot complain. It's a beautiful day. I woke up this morning, so I got no complaints.
Good. Go Cowboys. But
Oh,
anyway,
heck no. See,
I
see,
was wanting
see,
to
see, you
say
just ruined it.
that I completely agree with you, Miss Sylvia, about Joycelyn and her parents because this is deeper than R. Kelly. I think there was an issue prior before her even going to him, um, or even knowing R. Kelly. I think it's something deeper with that family. Also, even with the little Clary girl. I mean, they had issues before that because there's no way your family is somewhat abnormal. Like when I was 17, there's no way my parents would have even pushed me to the direction. I don't care how popular, how much money they had, who they were, into a grown man's arms if there was not issues prior to them even meeting him. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense, guys?
Yes,
Yes.
it does make a
Yes.
lot of sense. It does.
It's deeper
Speak,
than
speak
that.
on it.
And for them to go on national television, if you've got information and contact with his handlers, as you say, why are you going to the public? That's not going to get her to come and see you or call you or go to this funeral. That's not going to make her do anything because you're on the news. Like Terry said, I think this is a setup. Like you did, Travel the World is saying, I think it was a setup. This is going to be played on this new Surviving R. Kelly BS that they got going on. It's all a play, guys. It's a play. And you have to be blind not to see what these people are doing. My
Thank
take
you.
on that with these savages sounding like I don't even we're not on the right channel, but they just sound ridiculous. I mean, she's 26 years old. And what the hell is excuse me, why how is TMZ gonna get her to come
Mm-hmm.
call you or come to a funeral or whatever the case may be? It's just ridiculous in my opinion. And it's all a play.
You're right,
So
TJ.
You're so
Tim,
right.
go have several seats, buddy. Go have several seats, Tim, and John Julian, whatever your name is, and leave that girl alone.
And you're so right, because what it is, they are just using everything to be a media circus. Because
Mm-hmm.
let's be honest with ourselves, okay? I'm sure someone already let her know her grandma died. Why you got to go on TV to go always put your face that everything is TV? So basically, you keep running on TV trying to beg public help. Come on now. This is a grown woman. This is a woman that make her own decision, got her own money, got her own place. Well, if maybe if there was some good parents from day one, maybe this girl, young lady, this woman, grown woman would want to come home. But by you being who you are, nobody want to come to you. That's just the bottom line.
You're right, Gucci. If they were the parents that they should have been, she wouldn't have never been there in the first place, and we wouldn't even be having this issue. Period. So stop trying to
Really, I gotta
blame.
go now. I'm at the game. I got to go. All right.
See you later, my brother.
All right.
Stop trying to blame. See, her parents are still trying to access blame to R. Kelly's camp. To me, it's being done for TV purposes. Period. This man has been locked down for over 28 months, and you're still trying to I'm just getting tired. Assess blame to him and his camp. This
Okay,
is this.
guys. It's about that time. I'm at 1 hour and 37 minutes. So it is time for me to say goodbye. I gotta go.
Adios.
Gotta go.
Where you
Gotta take care
going?
of some stuff. I'll call you behind the scene. Gotta
Okay.
go.
I've ridden Rob's 4 times in 2 weeks.
Awesome. All right, guys. Gotta go. Bye, lovelies. Bye, Terry.